Julie Newman is a serious Western Australian cropping farmer, and over the last 15 years, she says her experience with GE crops there has radically changed her position on them.
Before release, we were promised the world with GM. So we were told our GM canola was going to yield probably 2, maybe 3 times more, and that it was going to be drought tolerant and salt tolerant, and it could probably shear your sheep when they walk past it. Whatever you wanted to know about this crop, it was going to do it and more. And better financial returns were promised.
Julie Newman says it didn't take long for her to begin realising that the proclaimed benefits of GE just didn't stack up. The promised increased yields never eventuated, and nor did the increased profits.
But most importantly, there is no economic benefit to farmers. So the GM industry will capture any economic benefit plus more. I came to the conclusion that GM crops and foods are the biggest threat to food and agriculture we've ever faced. And I don't take that lightly.
Julie Newman says farmers will become slaves to big business.
And the government wanting to push corporate alliances with the public plant breeders to add a gene to every variety produced, which will lock all farmers into being contract growers for a single company that controls the food from paddock to plate.
Green Party genetic engineering spokesman Stefan Browning has been touring the country with Julie Newman and another Australian farmer, and says Kiwi farmers must learn from Australia's mistakes.
The industry, particularly around canola, that is the crop that these people have been involved with, is effectively managed totally by one big multinational. It has taken control of the supply chain, particularly in Western Australia, right through the plant breeding, right through the seed supply, and then the penalties put on to farmers that are then contaminated are high. There's end royalty costs put on to people that didn't even want to grow GM that have been contaminated.
But while they're not fans of GE, it seems nor are the Greens fans of GPS, arriving 40 minutes late to their own 2-hour anti-GE party.
And again, excuse our lateness if you would. We met with some of the pukekohe growers today, and then trying to get them on track and getting here was a little bit arduous.
With the absence of the guests of honour for much of the time, the floor was open for others to express their concerns about genetically modified organisms.
Long term, and I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I'm very concerned about long term. Long term, we could be creating an absolute monster that can't be cleaned up. I remember walking up Queen Street when we tried to get a moratorium on GE, and my banner I had painted up with a big can of worms on it, because GE is a can of worms, and we haven't got all the answers, so we shouldn't let it into the environment.
Benedict Collins, Country 99 TV News.